All right, next up is Corey Garza, and he is going to talk to us about SACNAS.
Great. Let's talk about SACNAS really quickly. So SACNAS, if you're not familiar, the acronym, it doesn't stand for it anymore, but the traditional name for it was Society for the Advancement of Chicanos and Native Americans in Science. It's one of the oldest and probably one of the largest minority-serving societies in the U.S. As the name implies, it was started to encourage Hispanics, Native Americans to go into science. In recent years, it's expanded to include a very broad array of undergraduates. It's actually become a broad undergraduate mentoring society. And in fact, I think African Americans are actually the second largest membership in the society. About 13 years ago, when I was a postdoc, I got asked to help develop an ocean science presence there. If you know the backstory for SACNAS, the founding members are actually all biomedical scientists. So historically, this had really focused on biomedical science. And so when we went in, we were like, hey, we're going to be the hot thing there. Actually, we weren't. We kind of learned a lot of lessons, though, and they're good lessons for the broader geoscience community that want to engage with here. Because there are a lot of students. The conference gets about 3,000 to 5,000 attendees an individual year, with about 80% of those being students and undergraduates in particular. Some challenges that we face with advertising. NIH has a massive presence there, so if you're not advertising, you're going to get lost in the crowd there. Students didn't really understand what ocean science was. When we went, their sort of vision of it was like, like Baywatch or Flipper. The idea of like using computers was like a foreign concept to them in ocean science. So we realized we had to break through that. Coordination, it turned out there were kind of other pockets of ocean scientists there. NOAA was there. COSI was just starting up, and so they were like hiding out in a corner there. So we realized, we needed to do that. So there's probably other sort of similar things like the atmospheric sciences or the earth scientists as well. Senior scientists as well. I still get asked to this day how my dolphin research is going. For those of you who know me, I'm a benthic ecologist, uses remote sensing and spatial statistics. So some of the senior scientists there have a very poor understanding of the geoscientists. In fact, they filter that down to the undergraduates. So we kind of, as a group, had to get together and strategize for how to deal with that. And so to this day, we've now been running these programs about 13 years. It's very well coordinated now. We have a pretty strong ocean science presence that we have there now. So we've gone from an initial, when we first did this meeting, to having about 20 people show up, to actually we'll get about 80 to 100 students that show up a year now. And so it's a pretty good presence now. We actually have an ocean science row. There's a massive exhibit hall of about 500 exhibitors that show up, and so we've gotten a row of booths together with ocean science presence. Actually, NOAA anchors it. They're going to anchor it this year, so NOAA Education is going to have a row of booths in there. We're going to have a few supplemental booths, so students now know where they can go to get info. We have a series of talks now, so we actually have a professional development talk and then a traditional science talks. So students really get a better understanding now of what science is in the ocean sciences and what your career pathways are. We actually have student posters. I use this particular photo because the number of students on that one poster represents the total number of posters we got the first time we ever ran a poster session. So we get about 40, 50 posters a year now, which is really good. And so we're seeing, the presentations are getting a lot better now. And because of the way we've coordinated now, we actually have a stable of presentation judges. We actually have funding that comes from NOAA Education, and then Frederica Moser at Maryland Sea Grant donates funds every year for student awards. And so in the past, we'd actually get like physicists or biomedical people that would show up and judge these posters, and the students would get, they wouldn't be too excited about it. Now we have a good stable of presentation judges. So overall, it's a really well-coordinated program there. And we're actually seeing students, proceed. We've actually had quite a few students go on to tenure track jobs. One of our very first participants wound up as a faculty at University of Rhode Island. And so we just had one get a job at University of Alaska. So we're starting to see some success there. But if people are interested in sort of how to develop this, how to recruit students to their REU programs through SACNAS, I'd be really happy to talk to you afterwards.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear about, and I think we need to do more, or talk to you about how to get earth science and atmospheric sciences in there more as well, and some of the ways that you're doing, partner there.